welcome to Crochet Knit Love by Jo. This is podcast number 3. Can't believe it, number 3 already. What it does highlight is how quick the weeks go by when you're recording podcasts, because they come around really quickly. At the moment I'm trying to do them once a week. Obviously if I ever start running out of content, my husband will tell you different, that I never will run out of content or yarn, then obviously I may reduce the frequency. But hopefully weekly is okay and working well with everyone who wants to watch it. My name's Jo and I live on the south coast, which got absolutely battered yesterday amongst other areas by the storm. They obviously warned us it would be bad. I had hoped to do some recording yesterday, but our power kept going off and the internet, which was quite traumatic for our 13-year-old. When I was younger, it was quite frequent to have power cuts, quite normal, play board games, but obviously this day and age, it's power and electric and gadgets. Luckily, the internet wasn't off all day, because that would have been quite stressful, for me mainly. I hope everyone's all right. I know I've got, my husband's from Lancashire and I've got family up there. The mother-in-law and father-in-law we've just spoke to this morning, and it's snowing up there, which makes us really jealous because we very rarely get the snow down here. I think I'd rather would have had the snow than the winds, because yeah, trees, walls, sheds, trampolines, you name it, have been flying around and getting damaged. But I do sincerely hope everyone is okay, and it's just kind of materialistic damage. So yes, should we talk about yarn and all the things? I went to Unraveled last Saturday, which was fantastic. I've been to Yarndale, I think it's 3 times, and I'm trying to think when it was. Last year, me, Anne and Leanne, we went to the Southern Wool Show at Newbury Racecourse, which was really good and really great to get out and actually see sellers and makers. What we had hoped to do was get to more festivals, but it didn't kind of happen last year. But this year I decided I wanted to go to Unraveled. Unfortunately Anne and Leanne couldn't make it, so my lovely husband and our 13-year-old son, they came for the journey with me, and then they wandered round Farnham, which is a lovely place, some nice shops and pubs, and obviously Unraveled. I loved it. It was great. It was so nice. I found it quite busy in a couple of places, but that's more me, what I'm kind of comfortable with. Not a massive fan of really built up areas, but I did really enjoy seeing yarn in person. I know obviously I've got lots of yarn behind me, but it's really nice to go and see other dyers and makers. And obviously I did come back with several purchases, because it'd be rude not to, obviously. And yet again, did I need it? No, I didn't. But my lovely husband, we don't do Valentine's. We find it's a bit of a hype, and I'm not so bothered about getting flowers, but he did buy me some yarn, so I'll have that please instead of flowers. So I'm going to show you a couple of bits that I got from Unraveled and those dyers, and then I'll show you kind of what I'm making. It's only because literally over here I've got a mountain of things that if I don't do them bits first, we're going to have a tsunami of yarn. I suppose there's worse things we could have, isn't there? Let's have a look. So who did I go to? You'll see just over here this lovely bag, Botanical Yarn. I love their yarn, and they gave me a bag, which was fantastic. And I bought this little set. So it's superwash merino, 75% and 25% nylon, and it's one of a kind mini set. These are really my colours. I love pinks, and I'm not a fan of a lot of greens, but I do like olivey greens, sort of a drop of green as it were. That is a lovely set, and that's Botanical Yarn, and they're online, also on Instagram. And I've got a number of skeins from this yarn dyer because she does lovely yarn. I really do like it, so yeah, I came away with that. And then another yarn dye I really like is Pigment Ply. I was really fortunate where you get these Instagram competitions. I entered one for Pigment Ply, who I followed on Instagram, and was so shocked that I won a sweater's quantity of yarn, which is over there. I haven't started using it yet, purely because I'm still not 100% with sweaters, so I want to make sure that I'm, you know, really good at them before I start using that yarn. But one of the yarns I picked up was, it's Pigment Fly Catcher. It's 100% superwash merino DK, and that's it. So there's Pigment and Ply. There's their logo, and then that's the yarn. So it's my sort of colours: pinks, dark colours, bit of green, a bit of yellow in there. I can see it might be the green where the colours mix. So I picked that one up, and then lovely. I'm really sorry, because I know when I watch podcasts and you have earpods or headphones in, that's quite loud, so I apologise for that. But I haven't taken them out. I'm going to keep them in the bag at the moment. And that is, I don't know whether you can read the name, because to be honest, I'm not even going to attempt to say it, because as I've said on the previous podcasts, I don't always get the pronunciation right. So that is a lovely set. And then lovely husband, another dyer I really love. They're a husband and wife. Follow them on Instagram. They're also really lovely as well. I managed to meet all three of these dyers in person at Unravelled. I was a bit, you know, dorky. Oh, hi, I love your yarn. I'm one of those kind of, I don't think it's a stalker, but I probably come across a bit crazy because I seem to know all about their yarns and what they're doing. But it's Birdstreet Yarn. They are really lovely, their colours that they do. And so my husband, this was my Valentine's present. Even though he's always, I've said it before on the other podcast, you have too much yarn, your yarn will outlive you, but he buys me yarn, so he's not really helping the cause, is he? Yarn enabler he's been referred to as. So I got two, I'm going to hold them up because I've got my hands full. So that's 4-ply, 75/25 merino nylon superwash. I've actually been dyeing myself with this type of yarn, and it's lovely to dye, and it's soft. I'm not a fan of really coarse yarns. So I've got two of them in a set, and then all of these. So we've got autumnal colours and mustards. I love mustard yarns as well, and some lavender type yarns. I don't think I know what set that is. That's Beaujolais. Probably haven't said that right. But yeah, two of those. They actually had these. I'd seen them on Instagram and kind of had it earmarked that I really wanted a set. That would be lovely colour work. So yeah, I've got that to make. So yeah, very spoiled. But I was quite contained actually, because I'm, yeah, in the past, like when I've gone to Yonder, I've come back with just bags, you know, big blanket kits. But I tend to get a couple of nice pieces of self-dyed yarn. I just need some more ideas what to make with that. So that was my purchases, and it was a really good day. If anyone can get over to a yarn festival, you can't beat seeing yarn in person. So I'm going to show you a blanket. So this is an older blanket of mine, not as old as obviously the original one I showed you, but this is called the Spice of Life. This was a crochet along that Blacksheep Wools did with Sarah from Cherry Heart. And there was the Spice of Life, there was two different ones. I think this was the first version that came out. And I did this with Stylecraft yarn, so it was just random colours I had. and I really enjoyed it because it had so many different stitches, so I also learned a lot of stitches as part of it. The only thing I found when I was doing it, which I think quite a few people did, it a couple of times dipped in, but that's mainly because of the stitches. But then once you put the border on and blocked it, because I do tend to block, I don't block a lot of my blankets, but if it's sort of lots of stitches I will give it a bit of a block. It made it a lovely shape. So that was I think it was a free pattern at the time. Yes. Lovely blanket. If you want to learn more stitches for crochet, then that's the route you want to go. I really enjoyed that. I've only ever made, no, I've made two actually. My mother-in-law, who is very knit and crochet worthy, they have a number of my blankets in their house. I think I made one that was slightly thicker yarn. Can't remember what yarn. That was a long time ago. I don't know about anyone else. If you make a lot of things, it is quite hard to remember what you made and kind of when. There'll be certain things that just stick in my head because for whatever reason, but I can't remember that. So what I'm going to show you, I have mentioned, I think it was in the first podcast, about I started knitting so I can make a pair of socks. I've actually dug those tired. They are tired to the point they've actually, the yarns actually, there's a little hole appeared in them. So these were my very first pair of socks I knit, actually my only pair apart from that little one. And this was using Stylecraft. Was it? I'm trying to think which one it was. I should have checked. I've done really well writing down all the names of different things that I'm doing, but I didn't do this one. So these are just basic vanilla socks. My toes were, one toe came out right. First toe, I was a maniac with Kitchener stitch, yeah. And the heels, they're not perfect. But when we went away with Anne and Leanne's family, they actually had socks that they'd knitted, and we all bought our pair of knitted socks on holiday and wore them with our Birkenstocks. We were Birkenstocks and socks. It's really sad. I'll see if I can insert a picture of our feet. If you have a foot issue, I'm not a fan of feet, but they're in socks with Birkenstocks, but obviously look away or fast forward when the picture appears. And my sock blockers, see my little sheep, these were really good value, and they were from Smyrn Off Designs on Etsy. They're still there. If you have a look, they still do these blockers. They're just wooden ones with a little sheep cut out, and they actually sent the little sheep that they cut out, which I've got somewhere, could be anywhere. So yeah, they were my very first socks. They are quite worn now, and I have found that there is, not sure where, there is a little hole appearing, so I need to repair them. I have worn them a lot though. They've actually been surprisingly warm and they fit nice. But I should get into my ideal thing. There's, you know, the sock machines. I know some people say it's cheating, where you can make the sock tubes, but they're really expensive. I would love one of them. That's really sad, but that's on my wish list. I'm not sure I'll ever get one. I need to win the lottery or something, because they are, you know, obscene amounts, £1,000 plus. But I would enjoy making some tubes and adding the cuffs, toes and heels, just so that I could make lots more socks for people. I have got sock blanks, which I'll try and remember to show on the next podcast, that I've actually bought off a yarn dyer and someone who actually makes them, and that's a good idea if you're not so good or don't want to knit the whole sock but you enjoy doing the Kitchener stitch. Not sure I enjoy that bit. And obviously different heels and cuffs, that's a good idea to start out with that. Maybe I probably should have done that, because a lot of people talk about second sock syndrome. You'll get a lot of people that will make the one sock and the second never appears, but then I suppose you could always wear odd socks. That's quite a cool thing to do. So what else have I got under this mountain? So I'm going to announce my giveaway, the winner, shortly. I'm just going to show you. I've been a maniac last weekend. I I think it was going to the festival on the Sunday. I was like, I'm just going to dye loads of yarn. So I did, yeah, dyed my fingers because the gloves split, dyed the works top, the normal. But really enjoyed it. I really do enjoy it. It's hurting my fingers though. If anyone's got any tips on how I can stop my fingers hurting when I'm dyeing, that would be great. I'm going to show you. So, yarn bag. This is a lovely yarn. I love this yarn bag. I've actually got my other one. So this was the one I got from the Southern Wool show. See, I'm flitting. You'll get used to me. I am a flitter. I'll start one subject and go off on the other, but bear with me. I picked this bag up. So I love a handbag that's kind of slouchy. I'm not a fan on lots of rigid bags. I've got a couple of yarn bags that are a bit more rigid, but if they're for a bigger project, that's fine. But I love this yarn bag. Absolutely love it. So it's a jersey fabric, and it is by Sewingbeebyd, and she's over on Instagram. She's a lovely lady because I met them at the festival and bought this bag, and then my friend Dan really liked the fabric, so I actually got in touch with the maker and asked if she could get hold of any more, and she went above and beyond and hunted down the fabric. It's a little bit bluer, the background, but she managed to get some more fabric and made another 2 of these bags for me, which were Christmas presents for Anne and Leanne. I love it. And then when she was sourcing that fabric, she found girl and dog fabric. Obviously I'm a dog owner, so I'm dog mad, but I do love my cat bag. It's adorable, really bright, of course, bright pink, my sort of thing. And so of course I had to get this one. So go and have a look. She's on Instagram and she's on Etsy. I would highly recommend her bags. These ones are just lovely. They're such a lovely size, and they're really soft because of the jersey. Yeah, I love this bag. So I'm going to show. So this was, it's somewhere. So that's a skein of yarn. I had 2. I obviously put a picture on Instagram, wound up, and obviously that's it. So you never know when you're doing the yarn quite how it's going to come out. So I thought what would be good is I will knit. I was hoping to finish it, but I haven't. Knit a hat. So this hat is, which hat is it? It's called Bankhead, and it's by Knit Natural. It's a free pattern, which is even better. And it's got, see, it's got these little pearl bumps there, and it's got a longer band, which I preferred actually when I put it on, because it because I tend to try my hats as I'm going along. It sort of sat a bit snugger here. This is really, I've really enjoyed doing this pattern, but that is my very own hand dyed yarn that we didn't have a name for. So I've got my son. Do I need to do dramatic music? Ta-da! Fanfare music, something. I'll see if I can add something to make this sound more dramatic than it is, because I'm really not selling it, am I? So the podcast last time was name the skein yarn, because I basically have no names for my yarn. That's the hardest bit, I think. So this one, there was a lot of lovely people commented on YouTube. Thank you so much. There were several that I liked, but I actually got my 13-year-old son, Jake. He went through the comments. I said, pick your favourite. And he picked, because apparently it's his favourite ice cream, Raspberry Ripple. So Paula, who's on Instagram and commented on YouTube, can you message me on Instagram, CrochetKnitLovebyJo, send me a DM, and we'll get in touch, and then you can give me your address and I will be posting that to you. So yeah, Jake picked Raspberry Ripple because it's his favourite ice cream. There will be no rhyme or reason how Jake picks it. It will just be, I like the name of that, or it's my favourite food. It will be random. But at least then there's no favouritism, because I'm not picking it, because otherwise I'll end up picking everyone. So yeah, that's what it looks like. The pattern is a worsted pattern, but I actually did the large in it, the large adult, because this is a DK yarn, although when you have finished dyeing it and drying it, it really plumps up, so it's perfect for this pattern. So yeah, so congratulations, Paula, and if you message me, and then we'll get that sent to you. So that's that one. I think we'll do another giveaway because it's good to give. There was the random acts of kindness the other day. I saw a lot of people were doing nice things on Instagram for that. I think it's nice to do things for other people. So what my plan is this time, so on the, which podcast was it? Oh, the last one, I showed you the Lucy from Ep3's ripple blanket that I'd done in my own yarn colours by New Fashion Yarn. Now I have some New Fashion yarn, and I thought, well, why not give some of it away so that someone else can make a ripple blanket or a blanket of your choice. So I have literally pushed all the yarn all over here. So I'm going to give away 8 balls of yarn. There's another 4 in the same colours as these, in these colours. So we've got a dark pink, a pale pink, a green, which looks a little bit bright, it's a little bit darker than it's showing there, and then there's another 4 here as well. So I'm going to give, there's one on the floor as well, and we're going to give 8 balls of this away, so 2 of each colour, and which, oh, there it is, and a brand new crochet hook from Yarn and Colours, which is lovely. It has a little, see there, has a little dangly, which is a little charm progress keeper, and it's a rose crochet hook, and this is a 4mm, which is perfect for using with this. I'm going to fluctuate, so that skein yarn may work better if you're a knitter. I haven't tried it crocheted up. You can knit with this, but also if you wanted to do a really cheerful crochet blanket, then you want to use something like this. And it was really nice yarn. It's not it's not an expensive yarn, but it's New Fashion by Woolcraft, and it washes well, and I've found that mine's lasted forever, as I said last time. So if you want to win these, then what I would say is, I haven't thought this through, have I, is comment below this video and put a blanket you would like to make. So it's not necessarily a blanket you'll make if you win it. Just what's your favourite crochet or knitting blanket. You just put that underneath. And then I will get Jake to pick a winner for the next podcast. So yes, and then I'll get that posted off to whoever he picks as a winner. I'm actually getting all wrapped up in yarn now. I'm just going to pick that one up. I've dropped on the floor. So yeah, hopefully that will be a good giveaway for someone. So what else? Oh, I wanted to show these. So I'm trying to get better at taking pictures on Instagram, because the phone technology is great. I've got an iPhone that takes really good clear pictures, but I am trying to make them look more interesting than just say a cowl on the worktop. So I've got an old wooden chest box in our bedroom, and I've actually been, it's really dark wood, and I've been using that. I was taking some things on the desk here, but I'm not liking them as much. But it's always good. I came across let me have a look, Simply Shade cards on Etsy, and they do these fantastic wooden cutouts. So let me make sure I get them right. So you can get knitted with love, and obviously because I do both, crochet with love. And they're really good when you're taking your photograph to display one of them. And I also built handmade with love. What I then did was going back onto Ep3. I would like to point out I'm not being paid to plug any yarn dyers or blanket makers or creators. It's just basically I'm being indulgent talking about all the things that I like. Ep3, she makes Simply Shade cards again, makes Ep3 and other makers. Coastal Creations there on there. Might have the wrong name. There's a number of other blanket makers that she does cards for, but because I've obviously got these blankets, like Yuletide, I'll show that, that's over there somewhere. That I haven't finished it. I've got all these plans, I was going to finish it, but I'm using a bit of card at the minute with the colours on it. These are fantastic for it. You can't lose them, and you put the colour next to it that it relates to, and then you can keep them with your bag or keep them over on the shelf so until you need them. So that's a seller on Etsy. Simply Shade cards. I would go along and have a look because they're fantastic. Because I never remember the colours. I've pulled 2 other blankets. I've gone through all my... I'd like to point out that squeaking is not me, it's my chair. I'm really sorry, I did hear it in the last one. I need to stop fidgeting. But yeah, the blankets, I dug out a couple of works in progress that I haven't finished, and they're in bags, I know. And I couldn't remember some of the colours, and then I found sort of a screwed up bit of card. Them wooden blocks are brilliant, them cards for storing them. So that is fantastic. What else? My yarn. I'm going to talk about my yarn. So I've been thinking about a name because I'm actually going to look at starting to sell some of my yarn. I don't think I'm going to retire and make my millions, but it's just, I can't. I enjoy yarn dyeing, but I can't physically make everything with all the yarn I've got. So I've been mulling around with what I would call the yarn, and there's a lot of really cool yarn related names out there. There's loads. I wanted something that was a bit more, I have mentioned before how sentimental I am. I wanted something that was a bit more, meant something a bit more to me. So my dad's mum was called Winifred, and Winnie to everyone else. She was great. I've been told that I'm a little bit like her. She's a bit scary because she effed and jeffed, took no nonsense. Probably the effing and jeffing could be true for me, but she was great. She had a wicked sense of humour, and she was just she was our nan. She was great. So when I got my first car at 18, I named it Winnie, and then what else did I call Winnie? I can't remember. We went to, I'm really sorry, next door's dog's now barking. I shall carry on. When we went to Yarndale last time, they had these lovely knitted bears. They do different things each Yarndale for charity where people send in. It can be hearts, and this particular one was teddies. So I'll have to insert a picture. We named a teddy each, me, Anne and Leanne, and my teddy, which I'd forgotten, Anne pointed out to me, was called Winnie. So I've decided to call my very little yarn range Winnies. That's my little logo. I'm mad about butterflies, mad, and it's Winnies. It's not anything dramatic, it's Winnie's yarn. So Winnie's got a raspberry ripple ice cream, she's got that one, and then I haven't named any others because, like I said, that's the hardest bit. But yeah, I kind of thought my nan would have loved that. She would have loved, you know, oh, I'm out there and a name's being used for that. I want it to have a kind of affectionate feel to it. A little bit kind of, not old fashioned, but a bit more kind of old school. Although some of the colours will be a bit too bright for back in the day, but it's, yeah, she was my nan. So Winnie's yarn it is. I thought Winnie's wool, but that got into a bit of a tongue twister when we kept saying it. So I've been making some, I love mini skeins anyway, absolutely love them. So I've made up some little sets, which, so I'm just looking for where, oh, there it is. I've been making up some little mini skein sets. And I was thinking that it was, just reminds me a bit like an English garden. So Winnie's English garden, And it's got green and bright pink, and I did a mixture. So here we've got more muted colours where there's a couple of different shades of green. This lovely, I was going for a kind of rose colour, like an antique rose type colour, rose pink. And then I did a slightly darker colour. So there was a bundle there, and then there was another set which is similar to that one. That's got a really bright pink in it. Some people love the kind of neon, you know, bright colours. And then that was another set. So I'm going to look at selling some little bundles of those. And then I also discovered slub. I put an Instagram post the other day, where has it been all my life? It's so nice to dye, and it's so squishy. It's lovely. So Kate Celine, who I'm a big fan of, she does a lot. Go over to her website. I've mentioned before, she does loads of free patterns, and she incorporates slub and DK and sock yarn. There's a lot of different patterns out there, but this is really good. I have a lot of sock yarn, that's the word. I have the smaller, thinner yarn, which I'm not a massive fan of for doing cows with. I often find it isn't quite thick enough. But if you mixed it with some slub, so this is magenta pink, and this loves yarn dye. It just sucks it up. It's great to dye. I've got some more which are over there, but I'll show them on the next podcast. That's a grey, but it's quite a bluey grey. But I've done them where they're a little bit variegated, and this one was green, but then it had slightly lighter green in it, almost yellowy bits in there. So I'm loving this slub. Winnies slub. You've seen the theme here, haven't you? And then this is zebra yarn. So I have some zebra yarn up there that I bought from a dyer, and I thought it would be softer. It was actually quite scratchy, which I'm not a fan of. I wouldn't be able to wear it on me. It would just, yeah, my neck would be on fire. So I'm going to try and use that in something else. But this is merino, so zebra merino DK. Oh, it's so soft. And I did magenta again, so I had you can see how so this was the same magenta colour. Obviously slub sucked it all up straight away, so that went really bright. And then this didn't take it as quick, but it came out so well. It is so soft. I can't believe how soft it was. I'm gonna I think I'll look at knitting something in this. I think it would look great as a hat because it has all this lovely zebra stripes in it, and show you how that looks. I've actually done, I'm just trying to see what colour I've done a teal. I love teal and turquoise colours, so I've done a teal in this, and then I've done like a sunsetty with orange. Sunsetty, is that actually a word? Make it up as I go along. A sunset type one, which has got oranges and yellows, and I added a bit of salmon randomly. I'm starting to write down the colour bits I'm doing, because I am a bit of a maniac where I'm like, oh, you'll look nice, throw you in, you'll look nice. So yeah, I'm sure there's far more efficient dyers, but you know what, I'm enjoying it. I'm just going, oh, look at it, because sometimes you get a colour in your head and you think it'll do that, and then obviously it's totally different. But that has, so that's zebra yarn, and that is squishy. So look out on Instagram and hopefully on one of the podcasts soon where I'll actually show how that knits up. So yeah, that's, oh, and then I've got these are just two that I'd done. So this is sock yarn, but I don't think this is quite as soft as some of the other sock yarn. I've changed sock yarn blanks that I've been getting, undyed skeins. But these were just kind of dabbling with them, where I added loads of speckles to that. I do need to skein them up a bit tidier. I've literally just skeined them up to show a picture, but I thought them two mixed would look really good. How am I going to make that? So I've got so much on now that I've done myself that I'm getting probably a little overwhelmed with what shall I make? Oh, I don't know. It gets a little crazy. So is there anything, do you know what, there's loads, but I think I've been going, what, for half an hour? I think that's probably, as I said before, I'm breaking you in gently to my jabberings. Yeah, so hopefully you've enjoyed this podcast. Please get in touch if there's anything you want further information on. I am going to list it and also tag people in my Instagram, just so that you can see who I'm talking about. Go and check the sellers and makers that I've mentioned. I've just remembered what I wanted to show because I forgot. I just saw Gloria. There's Gloria. She's a bit naked without her hat. This was one of my yarns that I did, which is just a basic ribbed hat, which I haven't washed or blocked or anything yet. This was one of my early dabblings with yarn dyeing, which I'm really pleased about, which has come out lovely. But what I wanted to point out was those of you who like pom poms. Now I only will do faux pom poms, because that's my personal choice. So I have found a fantastic pom pom maker who's on Etsy, and seeing Gloria wearing this has just reminded me. Crafty Bird on Etsy. Do go and check her out. She's also on Instagram. She makes fantastic. She also does self-dyeing yarn, which is gorgeous. I have some of that as well. But her pom poms, oh, fantastic. I've got a couple more up on my shelf, which I shall show you when podcast next. I feel I've shared quite a lot. You probably need to go and have a drink or something, or lie down. But that's a teal one, which I thought looked lovely with all these random pinks. So yeah, go and check Crafty Bird out for pom poms. It's just different sizes. These are one of her big ones, but they are lovely. And what I really like as well, because I have washed hats with pom poms and they don't like it, she has some cord wool that you can thread through the hat, which threads through really easy. You don't have to make any holes in your hat. So if you wanted to change pom poms, you could do. I've got some that have poppers that you sew on, but I personally really like these ones because I can literally undo that. It was actually on another hat, so I took it off and obviously put it on Gloria's head. So yeah, that's it. Right, I'm going to go now before I get distracted with something else. I hope you have a lovely week and weekend, and thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm going to carry on doing this for, well, as long as people want to watch it. I hope you stay safe, and I hope that's the end of the storm for now, because we need a bit of calm. And I hope to see you very soon. You take care. Bye. Oh, I lost my things to turn off that. That's good. Take care. Bye.